Hello and welcome everybody and thanks for joining me again. My name is Wilky and I am back with Blade and Soul again. This is probably going to be the first and last PvE video, or rather the last video in general in terms of Blade and Soul, simply because I kind of lost interest in it. I still think it's a very great game, and if they were to release it on a proper global version, I would probably play it, but like I said, the way it is now, it's a private server, so I don't really feel motivated to spend so much time into the game. Hence, I'm kind of very not into it right now, but yeah. Anyways, this is the dungeon I was talking about a couple times already. This is the Lucian Tower, Infinite Tower, I'm not really sure what other names you can call it. And this is pretty much a solo dungeon. You cannot enter with a party. And it's divided in floors, so it's sort of pretty much like any tiered dungeon. And you will go through, you have to go through all the floors and kill various bosses, or like, these aren't really bosses on this floor. There's gonna be floors with bosses, there's gonna be floors with mobs, and floors like sort of PvE-ish, PvP thingies. So the first floor, as you saw right now, is pretty much just a duel floor. You just have to duel these NPCs. They kind of behave a bit like people in PvP, but just like coded, so it's not really hard. I usually pick the mage and the archer. I found them to be the easiest one for me and the least annoying ones for me. Although due to the amount of stuns I have, I usually don't have very much trouble in the first floor at all. And I'm kind of failing my cancel combo here. It works better. Works very fluently right now. Seems like the server is not laggy, or no, that not many people are playing. Alright, get my immunity going. I have some spikes here and there. That's pretty much because the tower is kind of weird. I'm not entirely sure why it keeps jittering. So, alright, that was, like I said, the first floor. We have these 6 flags, 3 here and 3 here, which you can sort of guess what enemies behind that. As you can see, that's a sword, that's an axe for the destroyer, that's another sword or blade. So you can tell what kind of enemy is going to be behind that door or flag. So everybody's gonna have different tastes and different routes you wanna go. You have like sort of options in the tower, so you can sometimes pick things, like on the first floor. The second floor is the first real boss fight. He's very easy. There's pretty much only one thing you wanna avoid, and that's his overhand smash, because it causes a flame AoE, which is permanent, and the AoE is not gonna go away until you kill him. So in the worst case, he can flame the whole room or flood the whole room with flames, leaving you in a very bad situation. But luckily you can easily dodge it. It's very hardly telegraphed, so it's very easy actually. Come on, wake up. Wake up, there we go. So, like I said, and I'm not even bothering with dodging, because due to the fact that I have blood sucking on crits, I can easily combat the damage he's doing. That's the one I don't want to get hit by. If I get hit, even if I block that one with my counter, he's gonna spawn the flame AoE, which is not very good. But as you can see, that boss is very slow. Very clear movements. Like I said, he telegraphs most of his moves very much. So that was very close actually. And as you can see, I took damage. It looks like a big number, but given the fact that he's so slow, it's not really a big deal. It doesn't really hurt me, and I literally do not use any of my healing skills or any of my CC skills, my immunity skills. So it's very easy. At least for a Kung Fu Master. I mean, I have no clue how Assassin, how Blade Master, how Sword Master will do, but I imagine it's not going to be very hard either. Like I said, this is probably one of the easiest floors, and it usually only takes about 2 to 3 times until you realize how the tower works. So I've seen videos of tower floors 13, 14. That looks a lot more challenging, but unfortunately the content is capped at floor 8 here, so I will only be able to show you floor 8. And I don't think I will clear it. I cleared it once. I was kind of lucky with the routine or with the combat situation, because the boss has some very annoying moves, and if you screw up, you're ending up dead, which resets the whole floor. So this one is probably the most annoying floor, and I didn't know how to do it until somebody told me how the lame way is, and I'm gonna just show you. That red guy is sort of like a boss, and if you kill him, he will he will be dead, obviously. Makes sense, right? No, if you kill him, another boss will spawn, and the 3 ads he has will despawn. But as you can see, the other guys around here currently do not attack. So what I'm gonna do is just run here. He will lose aggro, or I will lose aggro, and now I can heal myself up. As you can see, these mobs actually hit a lot. They pretty much hit the same amount the boss did, just there's plenty of them. And the problem is there's like 4 rounds at this floor, but the 4th boss doesn't spawn any ads, but all of the other guys around him will actually attack you. And if you do not clear them first, you're pretty much ending up dead. So what you want to do is crowd control the boss and use your stun move. At least the Blade Master and the Kung Fu Master, I'm pretty sure every class is something like this, has a move that stuns or disables an enemy for a good 30 seconds. And that's pretty much what you're going to abuse. You're going to disable this guy and start clearing out these groups. So I usually need to stun him 2 to 3 times. I'm kind of very bad here right now because he woke up. And I'm going to reset him again. You can also keep yourself in the middle and try to kill more enemies and die. You're just going to end up on the same floor, so you're not like being thrown out. So you technically can do this dungeon or repeat every floor unlimited amount of times. The problem is you have durability on a weapon, and these portable emergency repair hammers are kind of expensive, so you don't want to waste any of these unless you really have to. So round 2, gonna stun him again. So as you can see, he has a 30-second paralyze. I'm just gonna go over clear these mobs. That's why I said this is probably the most boring part and the most annoying one. It takes kind of long, and I'm not sure if you can clear it, like charge in and kill everything. Maybe some classes, maybe with appropriate gear, I would be able to do it. But I'm kind of afraid to do so, so I will just stick to my usual combo. Maybe I don't even have to stun him again. He woke up, but maybe I have to. I still have my potions, so this one's dead. Alright, we're gonna try. Maybe I will end up dead here. I really hope I don't. So the first guy's dead. Another round of CC. I'm gonna add a potion. Drink the potion, thank you. Oh, I'm very close to death. That was actually very close, right? And as soon as he's alone, he's very easy. You're gonna see that I can pretty much just keep on knocking him. Since it works like a normal enemy, you can knock them down, you can stun them, which makes these fights very easy. Like I said, this is not really hard. This is just knowing how to abuse it. And like I said, the first time I didn't know how to abuse it, so I just went in and killed the red guy, which actually works. You can kill him fairly easily. Usually you can kill him before you die, and which is what I'm going to do next. I'm just gonna throw AoE CC and just kill him. But like I said, once you get to the last wave, I think I'm hitting the wrong person. Or I'm not too sure. No, I think I'm hitting the right one. No, I'm not hitting the right one. That's the right one. That's kinda not too good if that happens, but I'm gonna manage. As you can see, he doesn't really take much either. So, and usually the time frame is long enough just to sit down and eat out of combat. 8. So now there's gonna be wave 3. This one's kind of scary because he spawns 3 additional mobs after a certain time, and if you lose focus, or if you lose him out of your focus, things can get messy quite a lot. So I usually go here and just beat the hell out of him. As you can see, he takes a very good amount of damage. And there we go. He spawned another 3, but he died, and now it's going to be the last one. He's very easy because he's alone. I mean, any of these bosses right now were very easy, if you ask me. Once you know how the mechanics work, it's very simple, at least for a Kung Fu Master. I'm not too sure if other classes have more trouble. I really don't. So, same deal here. I'm not even gonna bother dodging his things, maybe I should, but I will have to heal in the next fight anyway, so... There's literally only one move you want to block, because that one move knocks you down. Not sure if he's gonna do it. He's gonna... This one, if he winds up that, he's gonna use his sweeping kick, which is gonna knock you off your feet, which can be dangerous. And I'm gonna go block this because I don't want to eat more damage than I have to. And as you can see, my HP is actually rising up once I start playing a bit more defensive. Take a look at his moves. So, still, I actually like the tower. I like the design of it. It looks very cool. It really looks cool and awesome. And I prefer playing alone, so... Even the outside of the dungeons were very well made. There's like these wide area, the mountains and all that stuff. It looks really great, really. It gives you a kind of a feeling of solitude because you're literally on your own, but I like it a lot. Anyway, we're on floor 4. We have to buy this one item here, this energy source, which allows you to pick one of these mercenaries to help you. I usually pick the archer. He sometimes knocks down the adds and takes aggro of them, so I like picking him. And same deal here, this boss isn't really hard. He's kind of annoying because he's tanky, and the adds he's spawning are kind of annoying me, but alright, gonna block. Don't want to take more damage than necessary. I mean, I can do that, I can eat potions. But if I don't have to take damage, why should I, right? Alright, I'm gonna use my immunity skill, which also heals me. As you can see, I recovered a great amount of HP. I'm gonna stun him here. He's gonna summon his 2 vampire dolls thingies. They're kinda annoying because they hit a lot as well. So, maybe the archer is gonna knock him down. Yeah, he is. Maybe he will pull aggro. It really depends. Sometimes that, yeah, he took aggro at least of the one guy. But I have aggro of the other hopping vampire. Alright, I'm gonna kill them. I usually don't kill them, but like I said, they sometimes tend to annoy me quite a lot. But I dodged it. Another stun. As you can see, you can even stun bosses in this game, and that usually works. You have to use one crowd control, like one stun as a setup, and then usually a second stun will actually stun them. Which is very cool for raids and all that stuff, because that also works on the very hard bosses. Usually it doesn't last that long though. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of these guys first, because they chew away my HP quite a lot. Alright. Oh damn it, that was baddie as hell. As you can see, that one vampire is still on his tail. Which is, like I said, that's pretty much the reason why I take this guy. Alright, I'm not gonna bother unless I screw up my resets, but everything's good. Everything's good. Pick up my coins. I don't really need the bow pay because the tower bow pay is really only good for PvE. But it decreases your HP very much. It pretty much gives no HP bonus. So it's not really the preferred tile set for PvP or open PvP or general. I don't like it. Because it gives a lot of crit, but it takes up pretty much every of your HP, so... Alright, the next boss is very easy as well, and the good part is here, these statues, I think, they give you a buff, which gives you crit, damage, HP regen, and all sorts of stuff. And you're gonna see that I will probably crit like every second hit, if not every hit. And that boss is very easy as well. He has like this that's the only hit you want to block or dodge, because that's gonna pancake you. But other than that, just stand there and knock the enemies away. Like I said, this is a very simple dungeon, at least the first couple things. Things are kind of getting a bit messy afterwards, but I'm gonna dodge this one. And just gonna keep knocking him. Keep knocking him like this. And reset. Or at least try to do my animation reset. I'm gonna stun him here, because I do additional damage against stun targets. I mean, this stun doesn't last very long, but... Alright. And he's always going to do that vacuum, and then the 4 spin hit. Or 3, I think it's 4 hits. That's usually the time when I pick up another buff. I'm not even sure what this buff gives me. Defense, and I think critical rate or something. And as you can see, I'm pretty much always at full HP, because even if the boss hits me, I'm able to recover pretty much all of my HP. So he's gonna go for the spin again, but I have my immunity going. As you can, this kind of gets repetitive, I'm not gonna lie there. But I actually like it. I prefer combat where you don't really have cooldowns or not many cooldowns, which is pretty much why I like the combat so much here. But then again, I'm too lazy to do that every day. 18k HP, I'm not sure if I can kill him before he starts spinning. Probably not. Maybe I can dodge this. Oh no. Got knocked on my ass. Alright, he's dead. Pick it up. The coins are pretty much the most important things you want to pick up, because you need those to unlock your skills, which is like the only grindy part about the game I have found so far. Everything else you can usually get everything else very quickly. Farming dailies for 1 hour a day gives you 15 to 20 gold, which is actually very much. So, we're at the next summoning thingy. This time you have to spend 50 silver, but you're getting that out of the daily quest, so... You don't really have a choice here, you just have to spin the wheel, and depending on where it lands, it's gonna spawn one of these 4 bosses. These are actually bosses you also encounter during your quest, so it's not really something new. And the yellowish golden parts are like a pig. It's like a win, because you don't really have to fight them. Alright, I got the ape. I like him. It's probably one of the easier bosses. Probably. Alright. I think so. He's actually very nice. I don't like the spider, because she has a totally instant kill combo. That's something you want to dodge. Exactly. Alright. He also has one, but it usually needs a setup. Alright, I'm gonna revive. That's why I said you can die pretty much as many times as you want. That death was kind of unnecessary, because I could have blocked it. But I gotta admit, I didn't really play the last couple weeks, so I'm kind of in a very poor condition in terms of Blade and Soul, but I'm gonna do fairly well. Dodge this pancake move. Dodge this one. Block this one and stun him. I can actually knock an up in the air. I'm probably gonna do that. Alrighty. What? pancake. Alright, knock him in the air. Do my fancy pants air combo. I can even grab him and just be like, look. Break your arm so you cannot parry. But he's not gonna do it anyway, so. Oh. Hadouken! No, that was not a Hadouken, that was a Shoryuken. Oh, whoa. Use my immunity. Oh, damn it. That might hurt. But only might. Even if I screw up, it's usually not a death sentence, so... That's what makes this dungeon very easy, I think. Oh yeah, I forgot, I cannot... Oh... Recover my HP. What? Dodge this man. Alright, I have to dodge this one, cannot block it. Or maybe I can. If I position myself correctly. Oh no. Don't want to end up in a spin to win. That's the most dangerous move he has. So as you can see, this is a very straightforward dungeon, or floor as well. Once you know the patterns of the bosses, it usually takes only 1 to 2 times to actually know what they can do. He's actually quite tanky, so it takes a while to kill him. But other than that, it's just very simple. I hate that when I'm out of dodge moves. Alright, stun. Dodge on this. And dodge this again. Alright, he's dead very soon. So, one death, kinda unnecessary as you can see. Worked very smoothly on the second try. So, we're cleared the first 6 floors. Now, here comes the first annoying floor. At least I had a lot of trouble the first time I entered here because I didn't know the pattern. And this boss probably took me about half an hour to figure out. So, look at that fat lady. I'm not really sure who designed her, but... Anyway, this is going to take probably 1 minute to activate him. I'm not sure if talking to the NPC triggers the thing faster or not. But, yeah. Durability is good. I should be able to clear it at least to where I want to clear it. So, the problem with this guy is also if you don't pay attention and you get staggered or stunned, he can easily chew away 50% of your HP. And if you're not used to it, and if you're like doing mistakes over and over again, which I did as well at the start, he can pretty much take you down in a couple seconds. So, yeah. Alright, come on. That's why I said this is kind of lame, because it usually takes 1 hour. It started raining here. Let's take a look. You can see the mountains. Like I said, I love the environment in this game. It looks like an anime, really, if you ask me. It feels very cool. Alright, I'm gonna try and talk to him. Alright, he's gone. No, the fight is gonna start soon. But the good thing is, once you learn his patterns, he pretty much always does the same as well. So he starts off with that combo, and he's very susceptible to stuns. He's gonna dash backwards. Not gonna do it. Right. I'm just gonna stand here. Okay. I wanna block this one, just because it's a setup move for other things. This animation is very good. If he does that, he summons these ice flowers, and if he's not getting stunned, he's always going to do his slash thingy, which you can 100% block. Right. So I'm gonna do the same here. As you can see, half of his HP gone and he didn't really do much. But we're gonna summon again these flowers. No, I interrupted him. He's trying to get it again. Like I said, once you know how he works, he's very easy. And another stun in. That's actually the move you don't want to get hit by, because that one hits a lot. But like I said, it's a very good setup. And that one, that ground burst, probably deals about 10k damage, and you cannot block it. And I tried to block it a couple times, Didn't work. I died in the process. Not too cool. Alright, let's go. Let's just use my immunity then. Probably gonna go for another summon of Ice Flowers. Nope. He went for stagger combo, but you can easily just block in between the hits. So all you pretty much have to do is mash your counter. As you can see, like I said, the first time I was here, I had a lot of trouble. But once you know how it works, it's really simple. So this is probably the most annoying part for most people. Now here comes probably the guy why the tower is called Mushin Tower or Infinite Tower, because we're gonna fight with the God of War who's called Mushin. Or rather, we're not gonna fight with him, but we're gonna fight with his shadow or something. He's gonna summon his shadow thingy clones to fight for him. He sort of gives you like trials or something you have to do. So his name is Mushin, maybe that's also the name for God of War. So the difference between those fights and the other ones is he gave me this debuff, which works like a timer. Oh damn it, that's actually a grab you want to avoid because it eats a lot of your time. And time's something you don't have in these fights. Because once the time runs out, you're gonna be dead. Simple as that is. But, like I said, the first usually is... Damn it. I'm getting hit by that grab. But it's not really a big deal. My damage is fairly good these days, so... I can easily kill him even if I screw up a couple times. He's getting these shield phases, depending on your damage. If you start up, you usually get his shield phase 2 times. I usually only get it 1 time, maybe 2 times because I'm screwing up a couple times, but... And my DP is kind of very low, so I'm definitely not in shape to take on the third one. But I think the second one is actually easier because you have a lot more time. Alright, half of his HP is gone. He's in this invincible state sometimes. I'm not really sure what that frozen AoE thingy does, because he's not gonna hit you with anything. And yeah, I really don't know what it actually does. So let's see, that's actually a very bad time I'm gonna have. I usually have like 1 minute 30 left, which is certainly not something I'm gonna be having. Wow, so bad. He's probably gonna go for another shield phase. Maybe I can stagger him. Yeah, there we go, 2 shield phases, very bad. As you can see, the timer ticks down. 46 seconds left, but like I said, very simple. And this one isn't really hard. You can get hit by him, it doesn't really bother you, it doesn't deal that much damage. Once you're in the second phase, he actually gets a bit more aggressive and gets to the point where he can kill you, so... I can just utilize my stuns, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. First shadow, or whatever it is of him, I don't know, gone. So the second one, the good thing is you now have 4 or 5 minutes time, and he doesn't have his shield. But what he's having now is... like, he can kill you in a one-hit combo. If you get stunned and you don't get your ass out of his way, he's gonna knock you up into the air and kill you. Or at least he's gonna kill me. So now I have to be a bit more careful about his moveset and do not get stunned. But the good thing is he doesn't have any shield phases or anything, so he's not getting like, oh, you cannot damage me until you break my shield. So that's something he's not gonna have here. Alright, stun his ass. And eventually he will go into the middle and use his flame AoE thingy, which is very easy to dodge because you can pretty much see when it's going to be launched. And it's actually free damage you can deal. Alright. He has this, once you knock him down, he can get up and stun you with his get up attack. So this one is kind of scary. But accepts a cooldown. This one is kind of scary. You will want to dodge this one because it's pretty much 100% certain that he is going to use his rising attack once you knock him down. I'll see if I can trigger it again. Yeah. You evaded thingies. Oh. That's awesome if you don't want to get hit by it because it stuns. But I'm gonna buy some time. Oh, I'm not gonna buy some time. Alrighty. Go for it again. And the more crowd control you have, the easier this gets. Really, stun works miracles on this boss. I'm not sure if other classes actually have so many hits per second that they can trigger the stun effect of the gem as well, but for Kung Fu Master it works very easily. Alright, let him do his AoE, kinda dodged a bit early, but it's not gonna move easy. Alright, he dodged it, and he knocked into my counter, which also stuns. Go for my immunity, that usually also triggers for stun. I'm not really sure if the hits of this skill have a high rate of stuns, because in most cases, even in PvP, they always trigger a stun for me. Alright, Anger is defeated, 2 minutes 28 seconds. I have some durability left on my gauntlets, so I will try and take on the last boss, but he has pretty much double the HP of the first one, has a bit of a different moveset, so this is pretty much as far as I usually go. I don't bother with this. I don't really bother with this fight because it doesn't really give you anything good. It takes a lot of your time, and that's where the tower is capped. This is where the content ends here. So I'm gonna try my best and see what I'm able to do though. He has this very quick stun, which is very annoying. Exactly this one. Like I said, if he stuns you and knocks you up into the air, you're gonna die. Oh yeah. Chances are I'm dead. Yep. That was quick. So, that's what I meant why I don't really like the third floor. Because he has some stuns which are so fast that you usually cannot react to them, but you have to predict them. Which kind of makes the fight a lot harder. Hence, I don't really like it. I'm not gonna bother. Like I said, there's really no big reward you're gonna get out of this tower after you clear him the first 2 times, except for a bit gold. But generally, I don't think it's worth the trouble. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty much the last thing I really wanted to show. There's a lot of other dungeons that look equally cool, but they usually are party dungeons, so it involves the party, but there's a very cool open raid formation thingy, a 24-man dungeon, which isn't exactly 24 people, but like you have 4 parties of 6 people, which makes 24 people, and these people actually like circle around in the dungeon, ending up clearing bosses over bosses, and once you clear a certain amount of bosses, the main or the final boss of the dungeon is gonna spawn. And that's usually where the whole 24 people are gonna rise, and it's like a huge mess. You don't really see what's going on. My PC has a lot of trouble to keep up the frame rate with so many people and so many things on my screen, but it's actually very fun, and I enjoy it. Maybe I will do a video on that as well. So yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the Blade and Soul PvE video. Probably one of my favorite dungeons in the whole game, at least from what I was able to experience on this private server. But yeah, like I said, thanks for tuning in, and as always, see ya.